Okay. All right. Welcome back. I'm taking a little bit of a break, but I'm back recording some more sessions and stuff. So today we're doing some solo Shadowdark. And I think what I'd like to sort of go over is the city of Thane, of which Alma, our protagonist here, the halfling warlock, the chosen of the Willow Man, who had been outcast and was about to be tossed out on her laurels outside of the city gates when a citywide crisis occurred, and they did not get a chance to kick her out. She comes from the Artisan District, or Miron District, and she got into some trouble, or rather, she was assumed to be something had happened, and my brain just completely stopped. I am unable to do the full arc of the past two sessions, so we'll just get right back into what we currently were doing. Alma was the apparent target, or she was prevented from learning new information by two individuals, of which it seems like they both were killed by poison darts by an unknown assassin right before they were going to engage in a conversation with Alma. She also was not, I believe this is it, she does not know of what crime that she was outcast because of, and why the blame was placed on Alma. It's been about a day so far, and she has gone through a few districts. We had started her within the slums of the Garland slums, in the basement of Patty's. That's her safe house. While being an outcast, she has to, lay low, and for a gold a week, I believe it was. Yep, 1 gold a week. She can use that place to literally crash. There's no amenities there or anything like that. It's just it's a lay low situation. And then she made her way around the outside of the city through the Corson district into the Miron district. And I have her having found a new place to sleep, kind of on the grounds, did not sleep very well, where she has to find out what's going on and who these people are. So what I would like to do in this particular session is probably do some undercover or sort of laying low style asking around of various NPCs. Ooh, pardon me. Various NPCs in the district. So what I'd like to do is I'm gonna just sort of remind myself the district. There it is. Where is it? NPCs. Yeah. So I'm going to roll up a random NPC here that I want to have her learn information from. And I think in terms of a mystery, what's really difficult about a mystery for solo is that the minute that we, as in the player, knows like what's going on, our character does usually, and it sort of feels sort of slightly. The word is not disingenuous, but it feels like you got shafted a bit by the information if you sort of know the information but your character doesn't, in this kind of scenario. So what I would like to do is we have a few clues already. We have an assassin with a poison dart. Now the assassin may not be the person that was actually behind the thing. As we know, assassins are usually hired, or they're part of a guild. And so yeah, one thing I want to do is I want to roll up a random NPC, of which I don't need the book for because I forgot I have the GM screen, of which I can roll. It is beside me right over there. So I'm going to just right here, NPC in Miron district. So this is just an NPC in the Miron district. And let's roll a D8, a D12, a D6, and another D6. Okay. So we do this, and then this. So we have a 6, 9, 6, and 4. So we have a middle-aged halfling. Ooh, okay. Halfling, who is lawful. Okay. Lawful. And is wealthy. Okay. Wealthy. All right. Middle-aged halfling is lawful and wealthy. Let's roll up a couple of characteristics, a D8 and a D4. 8 and 1. So, okay. So she is heartbroken and 3 and 3. Heartbroken and jolly. Interesting. So something tells me that she's not forthright in her heartbrokenness, and she's probably putting on a facade for the public. All right. NPC in Mirren. We're going to give her a name here, and I could do the names by thing, but I'm going to roll a few d20s on the names by syllable just to give her something a little unique. 4 and 14. Denal. Okay, her name is Denal. Denal. I'm going to call her Denali. Her name is Denali. Her name is Denali. The middle-aged halfling. And I think we had started Alma outside of the temple here. There's a little temple spot here, and I think in the artisan district, a wealthy halfling. Is this person a shopkeeper? Is this person someone who resides in the artisan district. If she is wealthy, I think she's going to be part of the high district. So let's see which district that she belongs in. So if she is from the Torsil, it's a no, and if she is from the Hilven, it's a yes. No. So Torsil district is a high district that's north of the University district, the Tenever district. So she from what did I call it? Torsil district. Okay. So that's high. Okay. So this NPC might have some information, and we know that we're going to interact with this person. And let us just see what the actual sort of what the reaction is as Alma. I just realized that both of my series right now, my main character in Starforged is Ardell. My main character in Shadowdark is Alma. All right, 6 or 8, and her charisma modifier is 3. Alma's charisma modifier is 3, so she has a little bit of a force of personality a little bit. So this might gonna help this. 8 is a suspicious, but plus 3 is an 11. That turns it into a curious. So she is curious about Alma. Now, why would she be curious about Alma? All right. I'm not very good at dialogue. I tend to be pretty good at sort of thinking on the fly and then coming up with stuff like this. But then the actual dialogue itself is not my forte, if you will. But I'm gonna lead with, I think Alma is rounding the corner of a sort of a busier sort of in the morning in the Miron district. It's a lot of shops opening up. It is a lot of people heading to their workshops and their potion shops. This is the artisan district. They're going to their studio. They're going to their art house. So there's a lot of hubbub in the morning to get back to work. And we know that this person is from the Torsil district, a high district where most of the wealthy live in this city. And she is lawful. So I'm going to assume that this person, I'm going to assume that Denali is unaware of most of the underbelly sort of things. If it comes into a conversation, I might have a roll for it, but I think Alma rounds the corner and bumps into, Denali. And I think that with her straight wisdom, Alma picks up just that slight little bit of like, when you catch somebody off guard and they were in deep thought, and she sort of goes to Alma, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there." And her voice cracks a little bit, and Alma goes, "It's okay. I'm a little frazzled myself. Did you hear about the you know, two men who've been killed in the last day. It's interesting, isn't it? And I think Alma's, you know, trying to get information out of this person, sort of gauging where this person had come from. Has she heard of this? I'm going to give this unlikely. I don't think this is something that she would have heard about, especially since that the first thing happened was late last night, and then on the way earlier the previous day. So I'm just going to roll on the Oracle and less likely. I'm going to take the lower. So no. No, but no. But so that is, I think Denali says, no, I haven't. Should I be worried I mean, I do see extra guards this morning. So there are extra guards around. So I'm going to say Alma notes. There are extra guards in Miron district. So that means that there's probably not going to be a lot of opportunities to get up to no good, that kind of thing. I think Alma goes, I think you're safe if for whatever business that you have here. Might I ask, what is your business here? And I think Denali kind of thankful a little bit maybe for having a conversation that's not about whatever she's heartbroken about. That hasn't come up yet. Takes this opportunity and goes, oh, I'm sorry, my name's Denali. I live over in Torsil district. I'm just here, perusing for my house. We have a shipment of art that had come in, and we had commissioned somebody to update it for our new home. So this is a new citizen. Denali is a newcomer to Thane. So Denali is not going to know much of anything, and I think that is something that Alma takes note of and might want to use for her benefit. I think she is going to kind of ask about what the art is, kind of ask more on the lifestyle things. And this is where Denali kind of, I wouldn't say clams up, but this is going to be a roll. And I don't think that Alma is going to tap into her boon. She doesn't want to scare this person. She doesn't really want to thumb on the crystal eyeball to read Denali's mind. She's not trying to be overt. She's just trying to read the rooms, so to speak. So I'm going to have her roll charisma to sort of get the information out of Denali. I think the DC on this is going to be normal, just a straight 12. So let's see, with a constitution or charisma of a +3, I need a 9 or higher. Got a 7. So I don't think that's necessarily important right now. But I am in a bit of a hurry, if you don't mind. Alma, is it? Yes, Alma. I'm not privy to that information. I was just told to come here and pick up the commissioned art. Thank you. Good day. All right. So at this point, Alma has lost her sort of her mark, if you will, unless that she wants to utilize some other, more subtle approaches. And I don't think that she's going to, because Denali did not seem like anyone that would be useful to her for figuring out any information in this district about the poisoned darts or anything like that. Let's see. Let's see. Dead man came from Low District, Corson. Yep. So, I think she wants to continue her sort of information gathering, but I think I want to make a role of her sort of asking a bunch of people and but this is going to be more of a gauging the crowd, knowing who to speak to. So this is going to be a wisdom roll as opposed to a charisma roll. She's not just talking to everyone who she passes. She's kind of gauging the room, that kind of thing. And I'd say that this is probably going to take her about an hour to do. So I'm going to have her roll wisdom and see how well she does. This is less about success and failure and more about how well she's able to find somebody who is useful. So the lower the number, the not as good, and higher the number, better. And then we'll probably create an NPC based off of that. A 3. So that's not very good at all. So I think it takes her a couple of hours meandering around and sort of dodging the guards. And in fact, because with that 3, I think she inadvertently just misreads someone coming out of a door that looks to be like a shop or something like that. And it turns out to be someone on their way to the watch in the castle district. So I think this is going to be a fast talking type of situation. She is not overtly known by everybody, but there are a lot of guards around now because of the murder the previous night. So this guard goes, "Hi, watch where you're going, miss. I'm on my way. I'm late. It's a busy morning for us. Hey, do I know you?" And I think Alma is gonna have to do some fast talking, and sort of, she's probably gonna have to lie, and I think that she wants to. Yeah, I think she's gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a disadvantage though, because she chose the wrong mark, and I'm rolling it on disadvantage because of that her inability to find somebody who is going to be useful. So she's gonna try to talk, and a 7 and a 14. So this was going to be a normal. So 7 plus 3 is a 10, but a normal is a 12. So she fails on her fast talking check. So Alma is like, I'm just trying to find information about, if it's safe for us to and she sort of trails off because of that murdered. And he kind of asks her, like, how'd you know about that already? And he becomes suspicious. So he's suspicious. Actually, I think it's more like he started off as curious, then is more neutral about it. Hey, it's, says, don't worry, miss. The guards will be on it. It'll be safe. Just be mindful and report anything suspicious, okay? And Alma just kind of bumbles over her words a little bit and is trying to sort of cover herself for being in the area, because she doesn't look like she belongs here, even though she did grow up here. Her clothing is a little ragged now, and she hasn't had a proper bath in a while. And it seems like most of the patrons and crafters around here are actually going to work. And so the guard says, well, where are you going? Like, where are you off to? Like, why are you here, right? And I think riding on that failed a charisma check, I think this is going to be a situation where the guard is going to recognize Alma unless Alma does something. And Alma can pick up the fact that the guard is being suspicious. So I think she is going to use her boon, and she is going to call upon the sort of fear-inducing sort of mentality of the Willow Man, and force the guy to, well, make a morale check, basically. So let us roll a morale check for the guy. I think that's a DC 15 for morale checks. Let me double check here. Morale. DC 15, yep. So this is a guard, which I think we have established. I think he has... what I'd like to do is, as I'm playing, write down the various oh wow, the various monsters on the paper, so I can just recall them easier. I don't think there is a straight up guard. Let's see. Nope, I didn't think so. I think. Let us use. I think this guard might have a +1, so I'm going to write down. So guard of Thane +1 wisdom. So I'm gonna have him roll to see him. He rolled a 9 + 10. He fails on the 15 wisdom. And so it kind of looks like this, I think. Like Alma sort of like tilts her head down and looks up at the man. And there's like this slight haze that goes across her eyes from, left to right. And, the guard in a moment of like, hey, aren't you like, just as the moment that she was going to be identified, like the moment that he's recalling that memory of somebody being outcast from something, he was told by somebody, and it looks like this, this woman, this halfling woman. All of a sudden there's this innate fear to just leave, and he kind of murmurs, okay, and then just bolts, and he goes, sorry, I gotta go to work, and bolts away to his post. So she had a successful sort of interaction, or rather successful uh, a successful altercation, if you will, where she was not identified. She at this point she wants to change the way she looks. Now, I know that she has a new set of newer clothes on and stuff like that, which I did forget about. But the guard recognized her face probably. So I think what she wants to do is, she wants to find a disguise kit or like a thieves kit or something like that, where she can help with disguises and stuff. So I'm gonna check the gear to see if that is something that we can even purchase. I don't think so. There's not a lot of gear in the game. Something which is fine, but I'm trying to check out like what the average. So like a bottle is a 3 silver, and an oil is 5 silver. So I would say like a nice kit that would take up an item slot, and I don't think she has a lot of spots left. Would probably cost a full gold. But this is the artisan district. She probably would have to go to the low district or to the slums to find a merchant to sell her a disguise kit. But maybe there is the performing arts area, the Emerald Theater, which is right across from about where she is. There's the Stock and Pillory area, which she would have to walk by, and that is where she was held, and then tried, and then kicked out, and then taken on the long walk to the North Gate. But as we recall, the citywide problem is that there's basically wild animals everywhere. Now, something that I would like to retroactively add is that throughout all of this, there are mice that have been scurrying everywhere. There are, feral cats. There are, wild dogs. There are, pigeons. There are even there are deer. But an abnormal amount of them. There are like rustling pigs that were from the nearby. I think we had to. It is on top of a. Let's see the location. We did not really flesh out like where the city is in terms of the world. There is a river that runs on its eastern side, on the other side of the wall. But I think Alma is going to use her sort of backtrackingness, and I think I'm still going to roll on some random encounters along the way, because I don't think she's going to find anything in the in the Miron district She could go into a tavern and ask for somebody, and I think she might do that. There is, but the tavern, the let's see, the Dancing Goblet is right on the cusp between the Corson district and the Miron district. So I think she's going to head to the Dancing Goblet for hopefully more information, but also leads on someone to sell her something to change her appearance. So she's going to head to the Dancing Goblet. Dancing Goblet Tavern in Miron district. Okay. So within the Miron district itself, I think because there is a heightened amount of guards, I think we're going to roll on a d6 to see if on the way back to, or not back to, but finding her way to the to the tavern, the Dancing Goblet, if she runs into anything else that happens. 3. If you remember my previous few sessions, I had rolled a 1 or a 2 like every time, so that's nice. So she arrives in the Dancing Goblet. So I would like to actually roll up a few things about the Dancing Goblet here. So this is the Dancing Goblet is a standard tavern, I believe. Yes, a standard tavern. So let's go to the tavern options. Let's look at what is on the menu for lunch. So we got a D12 actually. Let's roll a D12. 12. Dancing Goblet serves crimson pudding. Crimson pudding. And also spit roast boar. Spit roast boar. And a D. Let's see here. I see. 2d6. So, and there are, a 12. Van Dinkle whiskey. Woo! And Van Dinkle whiskey. And that is 20 gold. Wow. And then clear spirits. Mm-hmm. 1 silver. Okay, so I think I'll roll up this stuff if it I think Alma steps into the Dancing Goblet, and since it's almost lunch time, I think there are plenty of people here that are getting ready for something. And so I would like to see what's going on in the tavern. I want to roll up a random encounter in the tavern. I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be like bad per se, but let's just roll a D100 roll for me and see what's going on for Alma to interact with. 26. Slender Man whispers, "Need poison? Best you can buy." Oh my god, you cannot make this up. 26 in the tavern's page 178 in the Shadowdark book. I rolled a 26. A Slender Man whispers, "Need poison? best you can buy. Oh my lord. Okay. So we have a poison cellar here. Poison cellar in the Dancing Goblet. Jeez. Poison cellar. Wow. Okay. So Alma was not going to engage with anybody. She just wanted to get some information. Well, she wasn't going to engage with unsolicited advances and conversations because she was there for a purpose. But it seems like somebody is. It sounds like fates have thrown her a bone here. And she turns around and there's a, tall, slender man, let's see how old this man is. Just a normal adult. And ancestry. Where's the D12? I can't find the D12. There it is. A human. So tall, slender, adult, human. And I'm just going to roll a few characteristics just to help me role play this individual. 7 and 2. Refined, interesting. Refined and an eccentric. Okay. Refined, eccentric. So the poison cellar. I think Alma is taken aback by the forwardness of this person, and his manner of speech is quite alluring and enticing and very silvery, if you will. Come. Poison, it's the best you can buy. You look like somebody who might need some. Alma wants to figure out if this man sold the assassin the poison. But does not know what the assassin looks like. And I think what I'm going to do is there is a potion sort of table back here. Yeah, potions. Potion. Let's see, potion. I love these tables. These are so much fun to use. Okay, not the utility, not the weapons. There was a way. Now this is obviously something that kills pretty quickly. So I think. All right, so I think Alma is going to try to get some information out of this guy and says, "Yes, sir. I might be interested. Can we talk somewhere a little less conspicuous?" And I think he goes, "Why, yes, follow me." And I think he's going to take her to the back. There's like a back booth that has like a drawn curtain that he pulls back and reveals like a couple of benches and a table and a lit lantern to light up the darkened area even though it is midday, it is in the back of the tavern. And, there is, I wouldn't say a cacophony of sounds outside, but there is enough people talking and, clinking mugs together. And there's a general air of, people taking a break after a hard morning shift in their, various, professions, studios and stuff like that. So it's mostly a lot of workers and a lot of artists, taking a break. So there's discussions and stuff, talking, and he goes, well, let's see, what are you in the market for? And I think Alma goes, I'm in the market for something really strong. A really strong poison. His eyes kind of twerk up a little bit, and he goes, really? So this is where the Oracle comes in, because I think I want to ask the Oracle if this poison seller does this poison seller know the individual that bought the really deadly poison, the same stuff that Alma is asking for? So I'm going to roll, and I'm going to give this a 50-50. Like, it could be likely, because it's, story-wise, it makes sense that this person would. So I'm going to give it likely, and I'm going to take the higher. A 4 and a 20. So we got a natural 20. So it is the most extreme version possible. So this person, so the poison seller definitely 100% knows the assassin. Find the assassin. So this person knows the assassin. Knows the assassin personally. That's what I'm gonna write here. Like, this is the most extreme option possible, is that I believe that this poison seller kind of, his eyes twitch a little bit, and he's running his fingers together. What purpose do you need the strongest poison that I carry, miss? So Alma is she is, I never kind of set her age. So yeah, I'm going to call her an adult. So they're about the same age-ish. But what purpose do you have for strong poisons, miss? And he eyes her up and down very suspicious like. And Alma goes, can't a gal have some secrets? She's got to know if this stuff is going to work. So I think at this moment, she's going to kind of reach into her pocket while kind of talking to, the man, the poison seller, and thumb on the crystal eyeball. And she's going to utilize its ability where she can briefly read one creature's mind. So this is not a roll. This is, I think what this is doing is this might give her advantage on something in the social situation right now. But the poison seller knows the assassin personally, and I think what Alma hears very briefly is something like this. I thought I made the only special poison for that one. Why would she want this now? What is going on? I don't like this. I gotta get out of here. And I think that's what she picks up. So I think Alma now knows that the poison seller knows the assassin. Maybe not to the extent of, knowing personally. So I think Alma kind of perks up and goes, how much do you sell yours for? I've got coin. I've got favors to burn. Now, this is kind of a lie. Alma does not have a lot of gold with her. I believe she only has 19 gold. That's not a lot for like a poison that will instantly kill somebody. And I think because of how very suspicious the poison seller is, I think this check is at disadvantage. Normally I would just kind of role play it out, but this feels either like she gained an advantage because of the crystal eyeball, but it's a disadvantage because he's suspicious. So I'm just going to do a straight roll here, a 3. So she puts the best sort of foot forward in terms of her offer to purchase a really strong lethal poison. But this poison seller is not having it. I'm sorry, miss. I think you misunderstand. I sell those special poisons for the hunters who hunt large game, not to city folk like yourself. We don't partake in that sort of thing. Now, if you're looking for some low-grade numbing poisons and balms that make your enemy's skin itch, I can help you with those. Those are the best that I have to offer. So he's redirecting her to a more sort of, subtle approach. And so I think the thing is that because Alma knows that he's sort of lying to her, I think she's just going to back off and maybe trail the guy, figure out where he's going to go. And so she excuses herself and goes to the tavern keeper. And slides a couple gold down onto the counter, points over her shoulder and says, here's 2. If you tell me where this guy goes to after he leaves here. And the tavern keeper, a stout dwarf, run by a stout dwarf. What's this guy's name? 17 and 2. Hey, laddie, you don't want to ask about him. He's dangerous. But he keeps to himself here, and he causes no trouble. That is free. I'll take those. And Murish, the dwarf innkeeper, or the tavern keeper, takes the 2 gold, pockets them, and kind of, in one foul swoop, gets the clear spirits, and drops it in front of Alma and says, "Thank you for the tip, miss," and then walks away. So Alma is left at the bar, with some spirits and more questions than answers. So she's thinking to herself, what do I do now? I need to figure out who is behind this. So I think what we're gonna do here is, I think Alma needs to set up some sort of she's gonna have to trail this poison seller. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a mini sort of personal quest. Alma, side quest, and this is gonna be called Trail Poison Seller, and find out what he knows. So this, I think I'm going to make this a sort of a scene challenge, with a few successes versus failures. So I think I'm going to have it sort of 4 successes, and for every failure along the way, something might happen, or something might slow her down. So I think this quest is going to be DC of what? What would the good DC be with this? I think it's going to be normal again. So I'm going to do DC 12. She's not going to learn a lot. She's not very good. She's so I think I'm going to have to pause here. I have some stuff that came up, but what we'll do is we will continue next session with Alma figuring out a way to trail the poison seller, who apparently knows personally the assassin that utilized the poison that killed the 2 individuals that were going to talk to her. So she's going to have to figure out a way to find out where he goes, find out what he knows, and possibly confront this person. But that will have to be done next session. So until next time, folks, I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.